A company sent me this compost tumbler and I'm going to put it together and show you guys how well it works. So here you can see me unpacking the box, and everything was really well packaged and nothing was moving around when it arrived to me. The instruction manuals had an entire list of all the items that should be included to build this compost tumbler. So I went ahead and unpacked everything. So I have the instructions out and they look pretty straightforward. Your list of all your parts and pieces, check those over before you assemble, and then we're going to start by building the frame, followed by the bucket. Everything is illustrated and seems to be fairly simple, and then we'll just finish that up. I went ahead and laid everything out to make sure everything is here, and I'm going to start building. So this part wasn't too hard. The base pieces were two different sizes. So it took me a minute, you can see it took me a minute to figure out which ones had to go where. The long tube would go into the short tube, and then you do the same thing and repeat that on the back, and then it's connected by a top piece. Really, really easy to do, not hard at all. Again, I'm a huge person to follow instructions, so the instructions were easy enough to follow. Now these tops here, we're just adding those orange decorative pieces to each of those panels. Really easy to do. If you have older kids, this would be a great job for them to do while you were getting everything else set up. After those orange pieces all got put together, we had to install the hinge clamps, and that was the neat thing about the system, is it's all hinged clamps to give you that ease of construction, fewer screws, and that always helps me when there's less screws to have to put in. So we've connected all the pieces together, and that took a little bit of muscle power on my fingers because they snapped together pretty hard. So you can see had some struggles with that. Then once you had those all built, you'd put them into the base here, and you can see I connected them by twos in the beginning, and then snapped them together and then put them into the base. Really struggling with those clamps there. Just I don't have a lot of strength in my thumbs and hands, so that was a little bit more difficult for me. After I got the first composter built, I decided it was actually easier to put all of the pieces together before I laid them into the base unit. So that did actually make the process a lot easier and more simple for me. And then once you get them in, you just kind of push down on them and snap them into place. So really, really simple to do. Just took me maybe a half hour to do that. So for the door pieces, again, we're going to put those hinges on, pop those hinges onto the rest of the composter there, and then we are ready to go. Now you'll see me sliding these little black pieces into the composters there, and that just helps support it and making sure it doesn't collapse because of those hinges. And this was really easy to do. I ended up doing this on both of the buckets, although you only see it here in this one video. Not hard to do. Again, great task for kids. Once you're done, pop on that lid, push them in, all pressure points, so not hard to do at all. And then we start putting in the screws. There were 7 screws on the top and 7 screws on the bottom. It included a screwdriver, so everything that you needed was included in the kit, which that was extremely helpful. So once we got both of them built, we put the pole in between to connect them, and you'll see they attach with screws. So you need to put those screws in before you lift this up. A little challenging doing this one person. It would have helped to have a second person, but I did make it work. And there I'm tightening up those bolts to make sure the composter doesn't go anywhere. Again, not hard, just basic steps. If you can do 1, 2, 3, you can build this composter. They have the protectors for the ends of the composter with 2 simple screws. The lids just slide on and off, so that made it really easy to open and close those doors. And then it's done. That's how easy it is to build this composter.
So it's all assembled. Now I just need to fill it up, but first I want to put it into its permanent resting place because I have a feeling by the time I finish with it, it's going to be pretty heavy and I'm not going to want to move it. Connectors can be a little bit of a challenge to snap together. Fingers got a little tired. It took me about a half hour to finish building this all on my own. And this connector piece here is optional, so if you want to be able to tumble separately, so you tumble this one and not this one, you can just take that connector piece off. I put it together for now, and then the doors just go ahead and slide on and off. So there you have it. Let's fill this up. So it's been a couple days. I have my composter here right off my back door, right by the chicken coop. Perfect place for me this winter. And I'm going to start by filling up one side, and then when that side gets full, I'm going to start filling up the second side. My goal is for this side to start composting and make lovely soil while this one is working, and then just take this soil out and keep rotating it through. We'll see how this works, but I'm going to slide that door open. For composting, I don't really weigh out anything. So if you're new to composting, don't get hung up on the ratios. I had a squishy egg carton here. So that's considered a carbon, and it's carbon and nitrogen, or brown and green waste. This is considered a brown waste. So I'm gonna toss that in there. And then I have some chicken manure from cleaning out the coop. I mix mine in with shavings. So this is going to be, even though it's brown, it's actually nitrogen. It's a green substance. So I'm gonna add that to the compost. And you're gonna be building this all winter long, so it's not like I need to fill it up right now. And then I also have, from one of my flower pots, some green flowers that have just died. I'm gonna stick those in there as well. And then broken down pizza box, break it into smaller pieces. That makes it easier for this to break down. There, I put that all in there. And then I'm also going to add a few more. These are just pine shavings. This doesn't have, so this is more brown material. This is not, it doesn't have the chicken manure in it. I'm going to add that. And if you really want to get technical, there is a ratio. I think it's about, there is a ratio of 3 to 1. I'm not getting that specific. I'm just going to be throwing my kitchen goodies in here as my compost bucket fills up. So I am going to add a little bit of water to this. This is just some water that I had collected outside. Not much because I don't want it like dripping, but I really want it to get activated. And chicken manure loves being a little bit moist. If it's dry, in my experience, the compost just doesn't compost. So just a little bit. About that. And put the lid back on like that. Give it a little bit of a stir. Ta-da! How easy is this? Open it up. And we will let the magic happen. I'll keep adding to this until this side's full. If I build this right, this should start heating up within the next couple days. If there's enough nitrogen with the browns and enough moisture, the pile should ultimately heat up. We want to between 130 and 150 degrees. That's gonna kill those weed seeds, so we have really beautiful soil in a pretty short amount of time. It's winter out. This is gonna take a little bit longer to do, but I think this is a great thing for me, having the compost right over here instead of all the way in the back by my garden. And this will be great for winter time. I hope you give this product a try for yourself. It's a great way to repurpose your kitchen scraps and your yard waste into something that you can use for the upcoming seasons and replenishing the nutrients within the soil. Thanks so much for watching, and have fun composting.